we're talking about 9 million toys. Sounds like a lot, but it's a small portion of the hundreds of millions sold in America each year. There's also the concern of kids doing more harm to their bodies, either lifting too much weight or lifting improperly. The 5-second rule is the unwritten rule for food. It goes like this. If you drop some food on the floor, it's okay to pick it up and eat it if it's only been there for 5 seconds or less. But is it really true? Well, Mark and Robin, it sounds simple enough. Adults love gourmet wines and dinners, so why not feed your infant gourmet baby food? 4 companies that make diet drugs will be shedding millions of dollars this year. The Federal Trade Commission slapped them with fines for making false claims. The grand total, $25 million. The problem is there's no set rule when it comes to supplements. If you don't eat enough vegetables, or if you're a vegetarian and you don't get enough calcium or iron, well, then they may be a necessity. They can also make a difference depending on your medical condition. A warning about infant car seats. Consumer Reports says that most of the ones it tested are dangerous. Gourmet baby food is more expensive, sometimes twice as expensive as the store brands. But just because it costs more doesn't mean that it's more nutritious. Why do I sense this like little undercurrent here about the flu shot thing?
I don't ever get a flu shot. I don't.
Look at her.
How you doing?
And what's the thinking there?
You know what? Here's my thinking, okay? And I could be totally off guard, so all you doctors out there, feel free to send me an email. I've actually had friends that have gotten the shot and then gotten sick right away.
Oh, Mike. There are some people that think the way you think,
right.
But most of those who are in the medical community think you're nuts.
Okay.
Well, no chance to avoid it this year unless you're like Mike. There is a new shot, and this time, new recommendations. What you see in these pictures are scars on the legs of Jonna Brandt, a teacher and mother of 2 who underwent laser hair removal at a Kane County spa.
I was shaking and the pain was just horrible.
In a lawsuit filed in circuit court, Jonna claims that she was the victim of negligent and improper care at the Dermatique Laser and Skin Salon in Geneva. She alleges that her technician was not properly trained, operated the equipment without knowing that the filter fell on the floor, and admitted to Jonna, quote, she didn't feel comfortable using the machine.
They didn't know what to do. You know, I'm starting to cry and I can't walk and I'm starting to shake and the pain is horrible. Just horrible.
The result, 234 permanent stamp marks.
She looked like she had been branded by a branded iron. I mean, my wife's given birth twice to 2 boys, and she was definitely in way more pain in that situation than she ever was giving birth.
Jonna is far from alone. According to the latest figures from the American Society of Dermatologic Surgery, the number of botched procedures nationwide grew 41% from 2005 to 2006. Her attorney, John Mom, believes it's because of a lack of oversight.
I don't think that a clinic or a med spa should be permitted to do IPL laser treatments on people using estheticians. I think that they need to have more qualified technicians who are better supervised.
In Illinois, the use of an FDA-approved medical device like a laser does not have to be operated by a doctor, but by somebody who the doctor considers appropriately trained. In Jonna's case, Dermatique is owned by Dr. Gina Lesnick, but at the time of the treatment, she was not on site.
They had personnel or staff performing procedures that we believe were inadequately trained and inadequately supervised.
Fox News Chicago did try to contact Dr. Lesnick and her attorney. We were told that they will not comment on pending litigation. Still, doctors like dermatologist Jerome Garden say patients can protect themselves by taking the procedures seriously.
Patients have to understand, even though it's only hair removal, it is a medical procedure, and they have to view it as such.
If you are considering having it done, make sure to consult a qualified board-certified doctor and undergo a skin test to ensure that there will be no side effects.
I didn't know how dangerous IPL machine or laser machines could be.
Today, Jonna is fortunately no longer in physical pain, but the emotional scars will take much longer to heal.
My whole wardrobe has changed. I can't wear regular shorts, I can't wear regular bathing suit, because not only am I self-conscious, but it looks weird. It looks horrible. It looks like something awful happened to me, which did, but I don't really want the whole world to know.
In the lawsuit, Jonna is suing Dermatique for an excess of $50,000. If you'd like a list of more guidelines before undergoing a laser treatment, head to our website, myfoxchicago.com, and click on Health. Margaret Shortridge, Fox News, Chicago.
I curled my hair last Monday for the first time in 11 years.
Joyce Graham has suffered for years with a tremor similar to Parkinson's disease. That is until a few days ago when it suddenly stopped in her doctor's office.
The nurse looked at me, she said, "Your tremor stopped." And I said, "I thought it had." I was still kind of woozy from this anesthetic. And she said, "Hold your hand out." And she called the doctor and he came in and he said, "It has."
Joyce had gone to Dr. Ahmad Alborneo to be fitted for a device in her spine to help control pain when he noticed that it also stopped her shaking.
Without the stimulation on, she was like slow movement and trying to find the nose. With the stimulation on, immediately.
Dr. Alborno was so shocked that he used his cell phone to take this video. Here is Joyce with the stimulator off, her tremor visible, and here she is with it on, no shaking at all. He also had her write on a piece of paper with the stimulator off, and then here, her old smooth handwriting returned when the stimulator was turned on.
With a flip of a switch, your tremors is gone.
The discovery could change the life of the 1 million Americans who suffer with Parkinson's disease, like actor Michael J. Fox. It may also help people like Muhammad Ali, who don't actually have the disease, but have Parkinson-like symptoms. Until now, most of the research on controlling the tremors has centered around medication and brain stimulation, but neither is highly effective. Dr. Alborno hopes his discovery will change the treatment to focus on the spinal cord.
Some way, if doctors could work it where this would work for Parkinson's patients, it would be the greatest thing in the world for them.
Joyce was implanted with a temporary device. Her permanent one should come in a couple of weeks. Now, before Dr. Alborno can try this device on other patients, he plans to write up the experience for publication and then get approval for clinical trials. Margaret Shortridge, Fox News, Chicago.
What we found when we went shopping for Bears playoff tickets, first on Fox.
Those ticket deals may be better than you think.
Craig Wall explains why. Well, the Bears' Levy Smith and Rex Grossman are talking about last night's mess and the playoffs. Corey McFerrin joins us later in this half-hour edition of Fox News Chicago. New information sparks an international search for a murder suspect on the run. A woman was found dumped in a South Suburban forest preserve. Michelle Gielin on who they're looking for and where he might be. Outrage is growing among Iraq's Sunni Muslims over not just the execution of Saddam Hussein, but the way it was carried out. Sunni protesters marched in several Iraqi cities, furious with the conduct of Saddam's Shiite executioners.
Reports of a most unexpected visitor at O'Hare International Airport.
As many as 36 people may have seen a UFO. Why one national group thinks they may be telling the truth. What they saw ahead on Fox News Chicago. Presidents past and present are honoring the memory of Gerald Ford this night before his national funeral. President Bush and his wife Laura returned from Texas today and stood beside the casket of the 38th president at the U.S. Capitol.
First-time parents say they're going to make a scrapbook to help Mackenzie remember her celebrity status on the day she was born.
And hopefully save all the pictures of her on TV. Well, it sounds incredible, but a national UFO reporting center believes that as many as 36 witnesses saw an unidentified flying object over O'Hare Airport. Aviation experts say that the sightings are bogus, but Mark Saxenmeyer shows us why the believers are not backing down.
The prize package worth $5,000 includes a trophy, and there it is.
What? That's my job description.
Watching TV.
I've been watching games
Sports.
since about 10 a.m., so I can do that.
You know, women can't do it. We cannot sit in the same place for that long
I
on
know,
the couch.
I've witnessed that at my house, yes.
To get up and do something.
Exactly
That's
right.
why. There's only men.
Because they're great bowl games to watch.
Oh,
like the one we just saw.
That Bobby being Bobby to the very end.
Did he watch his language?
No, he did not.
All right, just check it.
Who knows what he was really going to say?
That's why we stay up late, to hear Bob swear. That's our news. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night, everybody. If you want to stay up later, Seinfeld's next.